give you 5 characteristics of a legislator. Number 1, a legislator must have perfect understanding of God's ways and of God's laws. Because that's what you represent. Luke was speaking in Luke chapter 1 from verse 1. He said, inasmuch as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, even as they handed them over to us, who were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word, it seemed good unto me also, having had perfect understanding, to write unto you, most excellent Theophilus. So legislators are those who have perfect understanding of God's ways and of God's ordinances. You can enter a company, they are doing something, you know this is not God's way. If you don't know, how will you address it? So you must know God's ways. And it's possible for a whole generation, only one man to know God's ways. The Bible says Moses knew the ways of God. It said the children of Israel knew the acts of God. They celebrated miracles. They celebrated signs and wonder. But when Moses stood and said, you shall have only one God, and him alone shall thou serve, they didn't know what that meant. How do you mean we should have only one God and serve one? They didn't know the jealousy of God. They didn't know that the God they were serving was jealous. He could not tolerate them bowing to another God. Only Moses knew that. Only Moses knew that it was more important to God who you bow to than what you receive. The children of Israel, so long as they were blessed, that was enough. They thought God was happy. God can bless you, but he's not happy with you. His benevolence as a father prompts him to bless you. But as a king, as a judge who has an agenda, you may not be doing what he wants. You think the father of the prodigal son was happy with him? No. But his love won't let him. He forgave the boy. He restored him. But he wasn't happy with him. When the elder brother complained, he said, listen, your brother was dead. Now he's back to life. I accepted him because he's a son. He's back to life. But for you, all things that I have belong to you. So he was happy with the elder son because that one kept his laws. But he received the younger son and blessed him because he's a father. And most of us are not aware. God keeps blessing us, but he's not happy with us. You are in a place where they are worshiping idols, you are quiet. Your God is not known. You are in a place where there are corruption, you are quiet. You are in a place where all kinds of evil is happening. You think God is happy. You don't know why you went there. A story was told of a woman whose son was going for a holiday camp. She was so scared that they would taunt her son. And so she followed the boy even to the final, where they were boarding to make the journey. And she kept praying. For 2 weeks she was praying. When the son came back, she asked him, how was the camp? Hope they didn't fight you. Hope they didn't insult you because of your God. His son said, don't worry. Nobody noticed I was a Christian. The woman was heartbroken. He mingled with the world. Some of us have mingled. Some of you sitting here today saying, Lord, set me on fire. If we follow you to your area to do evangelism, people will start shouting because they will be shocked that you are a Christian. If they see you with the Bible, they'll be wondering, when did he become a believer? Meanwhile, in church, we thought you are a man of fire. A time has come for those who can represent God to rise. But for you to be able to represent God, you must know his ways and you must understand his laws. That's the first characteristic of a legislator. He is not ignorant as touching the desire of the Father at any time. He knows where God is part time. He knows what God is saying about every matter. He knows God's standpoint on every subject. In fact, he doesn't have an opinion. God's position is his opinion. So when you ask him, what is God saying about this? He will tell you God's mind. You can be offended, that's your business. He came here to please only one, is the Father. Number 2, a legislator is one who carries divine authority through relationship. It's not just quoting scriptures and hoping there will be power. What he's saying, like John said in 1 John 1 verse 1, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled. So he knows God's power. He can wield it. So when he tells you God's position and you bring opposition, he knows what to do. Elijah showed up and told the king, oh my God, I don't want to go there tonight, because tonight is not a fire night. But you know what it means? When there are over 891 prophets, you are the only one on the other side. 450 prophets of Baal, 400 prophets of the groove, and they were doing the wrong thing, and you come and you say all of them are evil, and you stand against 890 prophets. You know what it means? Number one, it means he knows God's ways, and number two, he has authority to back it. And when he stood on that mountain, he said, if you are for God, choose God. If you are for Baal, choose Baal. They thought it was a joke, and he told them, the God that comes down by fire, that's the living God. So you don't just know you have power. See, we are in a generation of talkers. We can't demonstrate God. Paul said, when I came unto you, I did not come with excellency of speech. I came with the demonstration. Listen, a generation that knows how to wield the power of God must rise. I'm not talking this Christianity where they tell you there's a shrine here and you are fidgeting because you are more afraid of idols than the God of heaven. In the days of our fathers, ordinary Christians could go to a herbalist, win him, and dismantle the shrine. But in our generation, prophets and apostles can organize deliverance. You want to be a legislator? You need authority. See, when you say thy kingdom come, it's a declaration of war. Everywhere you stand and you say, Lord, let thy will be done, Satan will come for you. But you see, the good news is that when he comes, we are not without power. We carry something. We are not just talking. We are not lecturers. We are carriers of divine power. Paul carried power. He said, if after the manner of men I fought the beasts of Ephesus. We are warriors in the spirit. You think a legislator is an eloquent speaker? Check him in the spirit. He may be wearing a suit, but look him out in the spirit. That's when you will see weapons of war. You will see the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the boot of the readiness of the gospel, the sword of the spirit, the shield of faith. The guys armed. Oh, we came armed, sir. We came armed. Why do you think Jesus told his disciples, don't run out? This is not another lecture. He said, tarry until you are endued with power from on high. Tarry. I know you understand my ways, but you need power, because peace will come. Peace will come. But Paul told us not to be afraid. The Bible said, having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a public show of them, triumphing over them by the cross. And when he won, he came to us. He said, all power in heaven and on earth has been given to me. You go in that power. You go in that power. I came in the power of the Spirit. See, as a legislator, you need to know what to do for the anointing to move. You need to know what to do for the Rhema word to come. You need to know what to do for the atmosphere to change. See, because there are many gateways to power. There is a power that is atmospheric. There is a power that is based on anointing. There is a power that is based on Rhema. There is a power that is based on consecration. A legislator is guarded. See, Elijah showed up. From morning till night, they were trying to get fire. He knew what to do. The Bible said at the time of the evening sacrifice, he took 12 stones. He planted them on the ground. When he was done, before he finished praying, fire came. So he knows what to do. It's not trial and error. There is a wisdom. He masters the test. Did you read about Samuel? When they were destroying Israel, fighting Israel, the Bible said in 1 Samuel 7:12, it says Samuel came. He took a young lamb, slaughtered the lamb, poured the blood upon a stone, and poured oil on it. The moment he did it, the Bible said he thundered from heaven, and he said the hand of God was perpetually against the Philistines. The men knew what to do to wield power. Those are legislators. If you are in the market and there is a need to prove your God, what will you do? It's not just talking about God in the market. You are saying your God heals. Your God heals. They tell you we need medicine. You say my God heals, and a blind person shows up. They say give your God the opportunity. What will you do? We need to train men who know how to handle power, how to wield power. That's a characteristic of a legislator. And you will not leave this conference until something fall on you. I was going to preach in Zambia last year, and somebody said, oh, Zambians, these people claim they can heal the sick. He said, bring the sick there. Let's see if they will heal it. I laughed. I said, you are a clown. I travel from nations to nations every month. You think you can be fake and do that? Sometimes in 3 weeks, I'm in 6 nations. I left London, flew to Zambia, flew to Australia, flew to South Africa, flew back to London. And all of this meeting, God is healing the sick. You think it's talk? We came to talk. When I went for that meeting, I was vexed. From the first night, somebody dropped crutches. You want to see power? Come, you will see it. See, the reason we are not doing some things is because when we saw Jesus, he didn't do it. Jesus didn't prove a point to his critics. Otherwise, people like us, what you say can't happen. That's what we'll be doing. But if you do it, it will be flesh. If not me, oh my God. We just follow Jesus. It's the pattern. He didn't have to prove a point. But I'm telling you, if you will be a legislator, you must know how to wield power. And that's why we came. We are tired of watching superstars perform. An army must rise. An army, an army, an army, an army, an army, where everyone can wield the power of God. And I prophesy over you, the grace, the wisdom, the revelation required to step into power, it rests upon you now. The volume of the books, it was written about me. In the volume of the books, it was written about me to do your will, oh God. I come in the volume, I come in the volume of the books. It was written about me to do your will, oh God. Sit down for a moment. Tomorrow we will do, when we go deep, I'm laying foundations. A legislator understands the ways and the laws of God. Please give me 10 more minutes. I'm rounding up. I know this place is a bit far. A legislator is a carrier of spiritual authority. It's a carrier. I was teaching in a school. I will teach, I enter chemistry. They told the authorities, I said, oh, that's all I know how to do. They thought I was being a distraction. I did my job well. When wire came out, they passed and passed well. Some of them are in Russia, different nations today, doing well. But I brought God there. I'll give words of knowledge in class. People who were demonized, who were casting out devils in the school. So I know what I'm telling you. You must carry God everywhere you go, because you are a legislator. And then number 3, a legislator is a man given to prayer and intercession, because you need to be connected to headquarters. Prayer for you is not religious activity, it's connectivity to Zion. In Jeremiah 33 verse 3, he said, ask of me, I will answer. But I don't only answer, I will show you great and mighty things that you know not of. So every day you step out by divine compass. The Bible said concerning Jesus, he himself knew what he should do. How do you think he did it? It was by prayer. Mark 1:35. Early in the morning, he went to a secret place. There he prayed. So before Jesus steps out, he connects. So headquarters will give him download of what he should expect. So you couldn't take him unawares. You couldn't take him unawares. He connected to heaven. Even in Gethsemane, the last moments of his life, he was in prayer. He came to them, he said, pray that you fall not into temptation. That means if you don't pray, the forces coming will swallow you. The reason many faint is because they don't build stamina in prayer. He said, you dearly beloved, building up yourself upon your most holy faith, praying in the spirit. The reason we rise above the circumstance, rise above the manipulation of the system, is because by prayer we vaporize like mist into Zion. And when Judas came, he looked at him. He said, you came to betray your master with a kiss. He knew. You don't take him unawares. He had seen it in the realm. Look at Daniel in Babylon. King dreamt and said, tell me the dream and interpret it. Give us time. There's a God that reveals secret. So long as we have prayer, we are not stranded. There is backing from Zion. A legislator that does not pray will not have backing. And no matter how strong you are, there are battles that will require backup. That's why we pray. Jesus prayed. The apostles prayed. They said we'll give ourselves to prayer and to the ministry of the word. And so they were never stranded. Either God sends men, or he sends angels, or Jesus himself will show up. Saul, why persecutest thou me? Because the church was praying. In Acts 12, when they arrested Peter, the church was praying. Angels descended. In Acts 16, they arrested Paul. He prayed in the night and sang. An angel came down. We need backing as legislators. But what provokes it is our connectivity to headquarters. And that connectivity is through prayer. This is why when Satan wants to disarm you, he fights your prayer altar. When you stop praying, you start dying. Telling you how warriors are formed. Number 5. Legislators are men who rule by prophetic decrees. I know you read books, but what you need to fight is Rhema. So you must be fine-tuned in a way that at that hour, your mouth is full. Find anybody who is a legislator. The prophetic words keep coming. When they throw an arrow, you respond. It's not because you thought. Rhema comes to you, the word. It comes alive in your spirit. That's why when you find legislators, they are given to meditation. They are given to worship. Because they want to be connected at all times. Some of the attacks come when you are in the bathroom. So I'm not talking church service. Satan is wise. If he comes here to confront me, he's foolish. Because I'm in my elements. I'm clothed in my office. But the way he will come, maybe I'm on a flight, and then he sends fear. He sends a word. When he comes, something rises. Oh, you will die. No, we don't die. We live to proclaim the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. He looks at you and says, you'll be disgraced. No, we can't be disgraced. They looked up to him. Their faces were radiant. They were not ashamed. Anyone you throw, something comes out. Even before you think. I will make sure they gang up and destroy you. Gather together, you will scatter. Take counsel together, it shall not stand. Speak a word, it shall come to know. Our God is in our midst. See, when you begin, how do you think Jesus fought Satan? If you are the Son of God, turn these stones to bread. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. The word kept coming. If the word needed the word for victory, who are you? But the problem with most of us is that our consciousness is choked by this word. So there's no rhema. We rule by decrees. That's how kings operate. Go and read the Old Testament. Read the books of history. Kings rule by decree. That's why I say where the word of the king is, there is power. Who can say unto him, what doest thou? A legislator is a man who gives decrees. And when you start, you will see that situation will turn around when you talk. It's a characteristic. Legislators don't keep quiet. They talk when there is need to talk. And they talk the mind of God. Most of us are not spiritually educated. And so when we should utter the oracles of God, there is no word coming forth. And when the devil knows you don't have words in your spirit, he knows you are a cheap prey. That's why you must do business with the word. will give ourselves to prayer and to the ministry of the word. Acts 6 verse 4. They knew. He said, declare a thing, it shall be established unto you. As the rain cometh down and returneth not. He says, so shall my word be, which goeth out of my lips. It shall not return to me void. But when the word of the Lord goes, how does it come out? It comes out through you. So you want to rule, you must be a giver of laws. It's the characteristics of legislators. This is why those who talk what circumstance throw at them, they are always failures. We don't talk what we feel. We talk what we believe. There's a difference. Those who talk what they feel end up where their feeling is leading them. We who talk what we believe, we get God's result. Legislators. Finally, legislators are men who are battle ready. Because when you stand for God, Satan will fight. He will not sleep. If you tell the king you will not bow, you will enter the fire. The king will make the fire 7 times hotter. Satan does not bluff. This is why God makes sure he empowers us to confront him. He said, having done all to stand, stand therefore. Put on the whole armor of God, wherewith you'll be able to withstand all the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. This is why one of your weapons is a boot of the spirit. It's called the readiness of the gospel. We are fighters. We are warriors. Satan will fight your finances. He will fight your health. He will fight your name. He will fight your reputation. You must be battle ready at all times. Those of you who Satan is not fighting, it means you are low on the radar. So that you are not being fought is not a blessing. It means you are not growing. What is a blessing is that you win your battles. Who fights dead men? It's a waste of resources. He's dead, he's already defeated. But when Satan is attacking you on every side, tell yourself, this man is gaining rank. And if he's fighting, it means these are possibilities of victory. Because a testimony does not happen to idle people. Everything you call a testimony are the battles you won. So the more your testimonies, the more your battles. But hear this, the guarantees that we will always win. He said, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. I'm not afraid of Satan. Throw your best shot. You will find me standing at the end of the day. Jesus said, in this world you will have tribulation. He said, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Be of good cheer. I'm not saying all your life will be filled with battles, but I am saying if you are making impact, Satan will fight you. And if you are a legislator, you are ready. Wake me up at midnight. I wake up battle ready. Battle ready. If you try it, we fight. And we can fight for months. Oh my God. See, one of the strength of warfare is resilience. There's a battle called the battle of attrition. Satan can hit you at one spot for 2 years. You'll never go back and say, this thing is not going, I'm finished. We don't finish. Satan, you are still here. We will stand to the end. My God is called Ancient of Days. You will be the one to run away. You don't have enough resources. I am connected to the El Shaddai. Where I draw from, it doesn't finish. So let's see who runs out of ammunition. And every day scriptures are coming. I'm throwing. I prophesy over someone. Your better days are ahead of you.